Romeo and Juliet Quarter 4 Writing Assessment. Our prompt says, Romeo and Juliet is one of the most classically studied love stories, but what kind of love is it truly meant to represent? For this paper, you'll choose from the following list of loves and provide evidence to show that it is the most prominent and important kind of love that is seen throughout the characters, actions, and themes in Shakespeare's classic play. You'll use both evidence from the text and external sources to defend your chosen topic. The types of love that we can write about are unrequited or not returned love. So, for example, Romeo and Rosaline and Paris and Juliet. Romantic love, like between Romeo and Juliet. Parental love, like Lord and Lady Capulet for Juliet, Lord and Lady Montague for Romeo, and Nurse for Juliet. Friendship love, like Romeo and Benvolio, Romeo and Mercutio, Juliet and Nurse, and Romeo and Juliet with Friar Lawrence. And last, we can talk about love of family honor. So Tybalt, Mercutio, or Romeo. Our first draft for this essay is your dialectical journal, where you're going to outline your entire essay. This is going to be worth 30 points and will be due on May 7th for A Day and May 8th for B Day. And the play The Romeo and Juliet is split into 5 acts. Track significant quotes and details that support your theme as you move through the reading. You should have quotes from at least 3 different acts of the play. For this essay, you will also conduct research outside of the play using online databases to support your claim. Track at least 3 quotes from external sources that you will use in your paper, and write 2 sentences of commentary for each quote. Your commentary should be used to analyze how the provided quotes and research defend the topic that you chose. And remember, we don't want to use I statements in an academic paper. So use the collected evidence to type and create your final draft, demonstrating how your selected type of love is most evident in the play. Below, you have a model of a concrete detail about Tybalt, so a quote from the play followed by some commentary. And it's more analysis of the character rather than just what Tybalt did in the play. Remember that your concrete detail is evidence taken directly from the novel, play, poem, etc., using quotes, paraphrasing, or summary. But commentary is opinion, insight, interpretation, analysis, and etc. of that concrete detail. For this essay, you are going to be writing a total of 4 paragraphs, but for this one, we're going to be doing longer body paragraphs. So first, your intro explains your chosen topic, which is the type of love. It'll contain a hook, background information, the play's title and author, and a clear thesis statement. Then you'll have 2 body paragraphs written in Jane Schaeffer style, so 3 concrete details for each paragraph, providing strong evidence and analysis concerning your chosen topic, and this needs to include parenthetical citations. Lastly, you'll have your conclusion, where you restate your thesis, leave a lasting impression, and touch on the main points that you've made in your essay. And then you need to conclude your typed final draft with a works cited page. So this should contain at least 3 entries. So Romeo and Juliet as the play, cited in MLA format, and then 2 external sources that you found in your research, which we'll talk about within the coming weeks, how to find proper research sources to support your claims. On pages 2 and 3 in the packet that you've been given, you have a very detailed calendar of how the end of our school year is going to go. So a few things to note about this are obviously due dates. So what I've done is bold those and also pay attention to what day your class is on, so A or B day. There are a couple of days where we have things a little bit different. So like May 13th, which is an A day, I'm going to be out of town, so you'll have a substitute teacher. Also pay attention to when we're going to have quizzes as well as essay rough drafts. You also have our final schedule, which we're not going to have a final in our class. We'll have an end quiz over the last 2 acts of Romeo and Juliet. And then we will finish up the semester with our Dueling Deer Books project presentations, which I will give you that handout here in just a few weeks. And then we'll wrap up finals week. We'll probably finish those presentations and watch the Romeo and Juliet movie. Page 4. So that gives you end of semester timeline and details. So use a highlighter or circle or star, whatever you need to do to make sure you know these important dates. So for this essay, you're going to have 3 drafts. Your first draft is your shaping sheet. Second is typed rough draft. Third is peer revisions. And then your final draft is worth 50 points. So make sure you're aware of when those dates are happening. And the other date to pay attention to is the last day for late work for second semester. So anything that has been assigned up to that point needs to be turned in by May 24th, which is Friday, with the exception of if you're doing an essay redo or you're doing your yearbook presentation. But everything else does need to be turned in by that point. So that way I can get your grade finalized before the very last part of the semester. And then finals week, we have no school on Memorial Day, which is May 27th. And then we have our final schedule on your calendar. So pay attention to that. Be aware of when you're going to be doing your yearbook presentations, because we'll take volunteers first, and then I'll be going alphabetically after that. And then on page 5, you have your rubric for the writing assessment. So you're being graded on 5 things. So I'm grading you mostly on your use of Jane Schaefer, your use of MLA formatting, and citations, because this is a research paper and we want to make sure it's well organized and researched. And you'll also be graded on organization and conventions, which organization shouldn't be a problem if you use your shaping sheet. And conventions, make sure that you are looking over and editing as you go. And then page 6 gives you style guidelines for the MLA formatting, so Modern Language Association. Most of the outside research pieces that you're going to be finding are online articles, but you may also find a book or maybe a movie or a YouTube clip or something like that. So this tells you how to cite those different sources. And then page 7 tells you how to embed a quote. So I've been telling you guys quite a bit throughout the year, don't just drop your quotes into your essay. You need to give them some sort of context. So this gives you a couple different strategies on how to do that, like by using a colon, putting it within the sentence or with a comma. And then I also give you some suggestions for transitions. So that's how we transition between ideas, and you want to use that at the beginning of your body paragraphs or anytime you change an idea. So that is kind of the overview, and the next couple of class periods we're going to be working on our shaping sheets. So make sure that you bring those with you to class as well as this packet.